We are so glad that you have chosen to volunteer here at First United Methodist Church in Auburn, Indiana. We thank you in advance for your time and for your service. We'll be taking a few minutes to go through our training policy, covering our Child Protection Policy and Procedure Manual. We believe that it is our responsibility to create a safe place for children, youth, and adults, ensuring personal safety and comfort for all. All volunteers will be responsible for having a background check completed on them. This involves an interview process as well as an application that must be completed. References will be followed up with as deemed necessary. You must also be involved in the life of the church for at least 6 months prior to volunteering. Now, training will include this video as well as additional annual videos on things such as indications of child abuse. You must also read all of the guidelines set forth in the policy and sign that you have read and understand the policy. Available also to you are relational tech guidelines, which will cover the ins and outs of social media and electronic communications with minors. Our basic rule of thumb is the rule of 3. Meaning that a child or youth should not be alone with another unrelated adult or child or youth at any time for any reason. Everything should be done in groups of at least 3, at least 2 adults and a young person, or 2 young people and an adult. The ideal is to strive for at least 2 unrelated adults be with children and youth at all times. Any space that children are supervised in is to have at least a window in the door or an outside window with open blinds, and the door is to be left unlocked. Activities should occur in open view. Our nursery is to be staffed by 2 unrelated persons at all times. At least one of those must be 18 years old, and both must be at least 14 years of age. All children must use the restroom in pairs, accompanied by an adult worker. It is the responsibility of the adult worker to check and make sure that the restroom is unoccupied and safe before the children enter, and then to only re-enter when absolutely necessary to assist a child. Basic first aid kits can be found in the church office, the activity room, and all of the preschool classrooms. All injuries, minor or otherwise, that are treated by a volunteer must be recorded on an incident report. This form must be filed with the church office or the preschool office, and a parent or guardian of the minor will be informed of the injury, the day of the injury, and will receive a copy of the incident report, which they must sign. In the event of an allegation of child abuse, it is important to note that we are mandatory reporters. Reports of abuse will be immediately reported to either the police department or to Child Protective Services. Your responsibility as a volunteer is to take steps to protect the alleged victim, to immediately notify the adult in charge, who will immediately notify the pastor. The incident must be reported to either Child Protective Services or the local law enforcement. Please take notes to record what was said, to whom, when the authorities were notified, and who was involved. Do not confront the accused. Do not contact the family. Act discreetly and maintain confidentiality. It is important to remain unbiased. If the accused happens to be an adult staff or volunteer at the church, this person will be suspended from their position until the allegations have been fully investigated and resolved. There will be a singular spokesperson who's been designated by the pastor of the church, and if the case involves clergy, please follow the guidelines that have just been listed and also notify the chair of the Staff Parish Relations Committee and/or the Northeast District Superintendent. And finally, we ask that you be in prayer for the child or the youth and their family during this time. Again, we thank you for taking the time to view this training video. We hope that your service to the church and to the preschool is fruitful and blessed by God.